Welcome back to a brand new No BS crypto news video where I bring you crypto news every single day in the most no BS kind of way. Now today we have a fresh, off the printer, brand new breaking news story here from a popular project in the space looking to launch their own Layer 2 Ethereum scaling solution built on optimistic rollups. These guys are focusing on DeFi. I think the network's going to be big, and the founder, as we'll see in a second, is projecting multi-billions of dollars to flow in. So it might be a good opportunity for us to pick up some pretty easy gains. We also have Algorand projecting their roadmap for 2024, which is very, very bullish, by the way, and some Bitcoin good and bad news, plus, of course, a little bit more here and there as well. So let's get into the video here with again, general outlook. Now, I'm not going to waste your time on this, guys. It's the exact same carbon copy as yesterday. Projects are down, projects are up, but ever so slightly. As we can see, top gainers here, DYDX and Flare, yet again, are the top gainers, but not by much in, I guess, crypto standard. Same with Thorchain and Beam. Highest losers, but not by much. So let's forget about that. Let's jump straight into the news. And this is that Ethereum Layer 2 solution looking to launch. It's Frax Finance, okay? So they're calling their Layer 2 solution Fraxtal, kind of like that name, is debuting in February, claiming it's going to be one of the biggest roll-up releases of the year, at least coming from the founder. Of course, he's going to say that, but I actually would agree with him. This is quite big. If you guys don't know what Frax Finance is, it is, or at least the Frax token is a stablecoin. The valuation's about $700 million right now. The decentralized stablecoin-focused exchange Curve has already proposed to deploy its exchange functionalities on Fraxtal, so we already have a very large player in the DeFi space looking to come over, and the Frax Finance founder also goes on to say a lot more are in the works as well. Importantly though, if you are someone who does involve yourself with the Frax ecosystem, Frax's liquid staking token, FRX ETH, will power the Layer 2 and act as a gas token. How good is that? We now have a gas token that you can basically have liquid staked, okay? So you can, stake your Ethereum and get this FRX ETH token to use for all your payments. It's awesome, right? Why not? He also goes on to explain that it's going to debut with a bang, attracting several $100 million worth of crypto in the first month, and then he's looking for $1 billion plus for Q1. Remember, it's going to launch in February, and the first quarter ends in March. That's about give or take a month. So we're going to have a lot of volume and demand come in. So if you are someone looking to, take advantage and scalp little deals here and there in the crypto market, this will most definitely be an opportunity for you. Now, our first topic for Bitcoin today, and mind you, I want to touch on a really big one towards the end of this video. It's definitely a conundrum I have with Bitcoin that's recently come up, and I want to kind of shed some more light on it. But I guess in more positive news, you could say, the cumulative spot Bitcoin ETF volume crosses $11 billion on the fourth day of trading. Now, keep in mind, this is volume, all right? This sounds amazing, and it kind of is, $11 billion in volume, but this includes, obviously, inflows, outflows, and any small sort of combination of the both, okay? So, yes, it is very good. Grayscale and BlackRock and Fidelity are dominating with 90% of the total volume. So, we'll see what happens, of course. I still stand by a lot of the experts' predictions here. We aren't going to expect any hundreds of billions likely to come in over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But I think next bull run, we most definitely will see some sort of positive impact from all the hard work that has happened into these ETFs. Now, we've also seen a dormant Bitcoin wallet worth $2 billion. Apparently, they have 50,000 BTC, has finally started moving their Bitcoin around, says Arkham Intelligence. So there's not much more I want to add in context to this. Like, what does this really mean? What does the person moving around this Bitcoin want to do with it? Well, I don't really know. Apparently, they have moved money around twice in the past, once in 2019 and once in 2013. Could this mean the bull run is here? I don't know. Next up, the Wormhole bridge reclaims $1 billion in TVL. Recently dipped down, as when I say recently, the last 12 months, to about 200 million. Now it is back up and surpassed 1 billion. Now, they don't have a token, right? So you can't go to DeFi Lava and look at the chains and go, okay, well, where's Wormhole? Because Wormhole actually would be just below and just above Optimism in 6th place here, but they do intend to launch their token via an airdrop. So if you don't already know or haven't participated so far, I would suggest taking a look at a few airdrop videos and at least trying to get involved in the Wormhole airdrop. It's going to be massive, right? Massive protocol. They had like a $225 million funding round not long ago, so the valuation, I think, came to $2.5 billion. So the project's going to be big, and who doesn't mind free tokens in a quality project? Now, here's the big Algorand news. Algorand has shaved 20% off their average block time. I think it was about 3.3 seconds on average, down to now about 2.8 to 2.9 seconds average. So this is some pretty big stuff, but it didn't happen out of the blue, okay? Algorand is focusing on 2024, and they're going to make it a prosperous one. Now, we've gone ahead and, of course, seen the partnership with Hedera recently on DREC, right? Building sort of a solution to allow people to claw back their private keys or seed phrase in the case that they lose that, so they get their crypto tokens back, which ultimately is net positive for the entire crypto space. But now they have a roadmap, okay, which they haven't had so far, or at least one for 2024. Now, they're kind of going with this interesting sort of chess roadmap here, which I actually quite like. They're doing a few things, I think a total of 4 or 5 things. Number one is they're looking to do the upgrade that just went live, which is dynamic round times, which pretty much will allow the network performance to increase, like higher throughput, lower block times, so on. Algorand basically has instant finality. Once that transaction's added to the block, it's basically final. So now they're going to be less than 3 seconds. Any upgrade to scalability without sacrificing decentralization is a massive tick in my book. I don't care how big or small. Over here as well, Algorand is looking to bring on the Python code so that people can, millions of developers, by the way, can begin developing their code on Algorand, of course, bringing on the masses. Algorand is also looking to transition a higher portion of relay nodes to non-archival relay nodes. Now, the operation in this case is looking to make the network greener, more efficient, and significantly reduce the operational costs, which of course is a big tick. These are sort of the hidden problems we don't really see as the end user. Algorand is looking to as well give back to the people securing the network. In 2024, they want to directly incentivize participation by rewarding block producers, which I think is a pretty important thing. You want the people securing the network to be incentivized to act accordingly. So this is, of course, a very good thing as well. And finally here, Algorand is looking to change the way in which transactions and blocks are propagated in the network, right? They're looking to adopt a gossip model, not their original relay structure. That's going to confuse a lot of people. I'm not going to go into it. Either way, it is good. Gossip is the fastest way any message can propagate, even in these decentralized systems. So overall, it is going to help the network with decentralization and also security. So very big ups for Algorand here, all positive news. Now, Ethereum, the developers have just implemented the decon upgrade on the testnet. The decon upgrade is basically incorporating, as they mentioned here, proto-dank sharding, which the overall effect this will have is to speed up transactions and reduce costs for the layer 2 solutions, the layer 2 rollups. It's going to increase throughput, I think, for Ethereum to 100,000 transactions per second. At least that's the goal. And of course, this is sort of like the scalability approach we've been waiting for the longest time. They originally said, hey, we're going to make the network sharded. We're going to have all these different shards and it's going to work Ethereum as the operational layer as well as a security layer. Well, now, thanks to all these layer 2s popping up, they're saying, well, we're going to make sure that you guys as layer 2s are going to have the fastest networks you can, and of course, reduce your fees as well. So this has gone live on the testnet. Apparently a couple of problems arose, but that's kind of what happens on testnets anyway. Things aren't as succinct as what they are on the mainnets, but this is coming very soon, guys. So big things happening here for Ethereum. And that's one of the many reasons why people are saying it is going to outperform Bitcoin, not flip Bitcoin, outperform Bitcoin in the next year over here midterm. So I would say the next 12 months or so. Also, you do have people hinting at the, Ethereum ETFs. We've already seen, the scorecard sheets and all the different players in that race already. And we do have Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, saying that he can see these ETFs being approved this year. He is, of course, one of those people issuing the Ethereum ETF already. And of course, he loves this word, right? Tokenization. There are just stepping stones towards tokenization. Like, this guy doesn't stop talking about tokenization. I get it, it's a big thing, but I swear every time I hear him in the news, it's just tokenization. So what I'm kind of looking at here is the Ethereum dominance chart. This is, of course, the whole entire crypto market. We can see a massive spike happen here from about 16.5% up to almost 19% recently, likely because of these ETFs and likely because of, as well, we do have these massive upgrades. Keep in mind, back in the 2021 cycle, it peaked out over here at like 22%. So we aren't far off already, and we're 2 years out from, I believe, well, at least 15 months or so from when I really do think the bull run will kick off. Whether it happens in 12 months or 15 months, I don't really know, but either way, Ethereum likely should surpass this, especially if those ETFs are approved. Now we're getting onto the controversial part of today's video, but first, 12% of Salvadorians used Bitcoin for purchases in 2023. So 1,200 people were interviewed in their homes in El Salvador. Almost half said they made a purchase using Bitcoin only 1 to 3 times. Again, that's almost half here. 20% used it 10 or more times. So not that many, right? The main expenses used were groceries, supermarkets in general, and veterinary clinics. Now, the survey showed that the number of Salvadorians using Bitcoin has fallen since 2022, when 24.4% of the population had used Bitcoin within the previous at least 12 months. So it's declining. There's been questions in this article brought up possibly about the economic situation of El Salvador increasing, and also crime has been reduced as well. So maybe people do feel more comfortable using their native currency. We're not too sure. I'm not too sure, but it's definitely worth something pointing out here as well for, I guess, a positive for Bitcoin overall. I think El Salvador is the test bed for Bitcoin adoption. So we'll see what kind of happens over there until I think eventually, maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 years time, it could to some degree be used within, first world countries, but we'll have to, of course, see. You guys know I hold a kind of a contrarian approach to Bitcoin. I don't just fall into the doctrine. I'm not just like someone who follows the herd and thinks to themselves, yeah, Bitcoin's Bitcoin, so it's got to be used everywhere. I want to always poke holes in every one of my investments before I ever look to buy or before I start preaching to people. And so that's what I've done with Bitcoin. And here's one of the prime examples of why. So what happened according to this report was that a large percentage of the total US's Bitcoin mining farms that were located in Texas had to close up shop, causing a drop of 34% of the Bitcoin hash rate, temporarily speaking, because of a cold storm. One of the worst cold storms apparently Texas has seen in the last, 100 years or so. But this begs the question, centralization is a problem even in a decentralized network. Now, I get it. We'll talk more about this in a second, but Bitcoin being Bitcoin, it's the most decentralized network out there, so it probably won't be as affected as this, at least immediately, under what other networks can, but we'll get into that topic in just a second. So, yeah, I think 4 of these mining farms in Texas here, Marathon Digital, Riot Platforms, BitDeer, and Core Scientific, which makes up about 29% of the total hash rate of all the Bitcoin mining farms in Australia located in Texas, had to shut up shop. Snowstorm came in, and because they use quite a bit of the electricity grid to enable people to actually heat their houses without worrying about a blackout, they had to stop, at least temporarily speaking, okay? Now, this is interesting because when you think about it, they bring up the point over here with China, where China banned crypto mining and everyone had to sort of go to different countries to continue operations. It begs the question, if a bunch of these mining farms are located in a centralized province, like a, sort of a state over there in the US, or even you can only imagine what happens with a country where, the entire US for some reason bans Bitcoin mining, that's going to have a massive effect on Bitcoin. And I believe there's only so many hoops that these miners can go through, as in relocating to different countries, before it gets to a point where they can't any longer. It's no longer viable to do so. Now, I know this is a very devil's advocate position. This is, again, a position where I like to poke a big hole in Bitcoin, because not so much that it's the nodes themselves. No one wants decentralized currency and it's, centralized one world order. I think it's more of a problem of that Bitcoin miners themselves suck up a lot of energy, and they're very energy inefficient, that it might cause a lot of these, first world countries, specifically nations, to move away from it. Now, I completely love the fact that the Bitcoin miners are good for the grid, so to speak, because energy is being made, not always energy is being used, therefore it's wasted, so Bitcoin miners can at least put that wasted energy to something good and stabilize the grid. Totally get that. That's all sweet and dandy, but I still do think it's net negative until Bitcoin is leveraged to the degree everyone wants to hope Bitcoin's basically leveraged, right? Where it's, basically the currency of the world, right? Because otherwise, if you think about it, the emissions are worse than the actual stabilization of the grid, at least as far as I know. Now, I want to be proved wrong. I like to play devil's advocate with Bitcoin because not many people in the entire crypto space do. So you can come over here and, I guess, hear a different approach to what the narrative says. So Anyway, long story short, I think this is a symptom of a much bigger problem down the track, but we'll see how it always plays out. Of course, I don't hate Bitcoin. I love it. You know, I want it to succeed, but I want to make sure that we do succeed in the right way. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you for watching this video the whole way through. And if you enjoyed it, at least to some degree, I know I would have got a lot of people pissed off towards the end there. Drop a like on the video. And if not, let me know what you disagree with down below. Until next time, guys, talk soon. Bye.